1 Corinthians 12:6 says, "And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which works all in all." Now this shows us something that I do constantly by doing a lot of things at once. Apparently, that's not something new, because it was clear back in scripture time when it refers to us doing 100 things at the same time. It reminds us that despite all of the things we juggle, it is so important to remember the real reason that should guide all of our efforts. I mean, why are we busy? Why do we make the most of every moment? If you're like me, there's no such thing as doing nothing. I feel guilty when I'm not working on something, or worthless even. The days and time are so short and so fast, there's just never enough time in a day. I think I say that every day when I wake up. But a friend of mine often says, sleep is overrated, and I have to agree with them. I know not for your health-wise, sleep is very important, but sometimes I just wonder if people sleep too much, and more than just literally. So what's the purpose? Colossians 1:29 says, "Whereunto I also labor, striving according to his working, which works in me mightily." Here Paul speaks about laboring not just for the sake of doing something, but with divine purpose and strength. I think this is a big lesson for us modern day multitaskers. The importance of making life meaningful rather than just engaging in a bunch of activities. Although I think many times in today's world, the focus is lost on a hyper focus of self-care. Now I said hyper. I know you have to take care of yourself. I know you need sleep, but there are way too many more lovers of self over lovers of God. James 1:2 says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations." At times we feel overwhelmed with the things that we want to accomplish in a day's time. But understanding this verse in light of that long list, we can be reminded that having all of these challenges of the day, we can meet them with a positive attitude. I know it's easier said than done. I do it too. It is through doing these tasks with, I think, joy and a lot of faith that our character becomes refined. I think it really helps us in the long run. I guess my point in all of this is, I was looking up scripture about all of the things I do, and am I wrong for being constantly busy? And maybe in some ways I am. The Bible may not directly address all of this multitasking, but it offers timeless principles on labor, on purpose, on the unity of them, and prioritizing. And they are highly applicable to managing all of our multiple responsibilities that we have. By making sure our tasks are done with a more important reason or with a higher purpose, working while we remember our focus and not losing sight of why we're doing it, we can make those never-ending tasks and to-do lists more effective and meaningful. What do you think of that? I mean, that's what I've been focusing on lately. I'm busy all of the time. I also work full-time, and these are the things I've been contemplating. When I first started making and selling my art and my Prim Decor, it was because I found myself lonely. My personality thrives on being with other people. Now, don't get me wrong. I am horrible at socializing. I'm awkward. I never know what the right thing to say is. I run through scenarios before I even get to some kind of a group activity or event, and then I freeze or behave oddly. But when I go home, I constantly go over everything that was said and done. So I'm bad at socializing, but just being with other people is comforting to me. My kids grew up and they got married. My husband worked long hours, and we lived in the middle of nowhere and far away from my adult children. I've always dabbled in Prim Decor and artwork since as long as I can remember, and it comforted me. So I went back to it, and I find a lot of joy in it. But my biggest goal when I started this, if you've seen my previous videos, my daughter passed away with cancer, and it really drove me to my foundation of what life is and how short it can be, and what our purpose is. My biggest goal when I started Prim Decor and artwork sharing was to share Jesus with other women, or people for that matter. I just relate to other women because I guess I am one. That makes me easy for me to relate. Um, that may be feeling the same way. I began by performing artwork in churches and dinners along with praise and worship music. I would paint or black charcoal to music, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and I felt like my outreach, I got to talk to people afterwards and beforehand. But honestly, the traveling and the scheduling was difficult, so because I also have a full-time job too, so it was weekends or days off, and it just became too much. I found that making Prim Decor and working on artwork from my garage and from my art room was the perfect fit. I started going to festivals and shows to rid my stash so I could make more stash. Can you feel me? Can you understand that? All of you craft makers, you've got to make it, but you've got to get rid of it so you can make more, right? I have since gotten more serious about my projects because I would like to finish my full-time job up, get to that magic number, and spend my final days in life creating with what my creator gave me the skills to do. I truly feel that's my purpose in life, and with the main driver of sharing salvation to anyone who has not experienced who God is. I've had beautiful encounters with God, and they're so difficult for me to formulate into words, just mere words. But I know God is limitless, and He always provides. Now, all that being said, I hope you join me in my journey to share the art of creating things. And as I said, multitasking, I have never been able to stick to one art or one type of, say, making candles or sewing dolls. I have all of that on my channel because that's just how my brain works. When I figure out how to fix that, I'll change it. But at this point in time, I've got a lot of different things on this channel. We sew, we paint, we make candles, we sell, we produce, mass produce, we do in small batch. It just goes from one extreme to another. If you like being busy and like doing all kinds of different things, if you like Prim Decor and you like a little bit of artwork, painting, I love sketching in black and white, then this is the perfect channel for you. Make sure you subscribe and like our channel so that we can be played more for you. If you hit subscribe, make sure you go up and hit that bell that says all, so that every time I release a video, you can watch us. Make sure to comment in the comment section. I do want to form relationships here. It's not just about making money and buying more artwork supplies. Thank you again for stopping at the Cranberry Cornstalk YouTube channel. Now let's get started.